Hi everyone, my name is Hadar. I'm a director of Hadar Incorporated Property Law Specialist, and I'm taking this opportunity to speak to you about Hadar Incorporated and what we stand for. One of our core philosophies is adding value, not hours. We've therefore created this content in order to assist potential and current clients with how to avoid incurring legal fees unnecessarily. So you might ask yourself why a lawyer would try and help you in minimizing legal fees. It might seem counterintuitive. But as passionate property law specialists and actually fair lawyers, we believe that legal fees can be avoided. There's a time and place for it. Today I'll give you 3 tips on how to reduce or completely avoid legal fees. Number 1 will be before you take on a tenant. Number 2 will be whilst you manage the tenant. And number 3 will be in a situation where the relationship breaks down and you have to proceed. How do you vet a tenant correctly? Number 1, and most importantly for me, is to obtain a reference letter from the previous landlord to make sure that the tenant was a good tenant who paid on time and paid in full. Number 2, you conduct a financial means analysis test on them. And number 3, you make sure that their credit rating is strong and that there's no judgments against them. Those 3 tips are the best way to vet a tenant and avoid future legal fees being incurred. The second way of avoiding legal fees is by managing the expectations of the tenant and having an open and communicative relationship with them. One example I can give you from practical experience in my career is that a tenant had an issue with something as small as a light bulb, and the landlord simply didn't hear them out and didn't attend to it timeously. The situation escalated so badly that a few months later we were engaged in litigation over hundreds of thousands of rands in arrears, which was something that could have been avoided so easily right at the beginning had the landlord had a good relationship and communication with the tenant and heard them out. So my tips for ensuring a good relationship with the tenant is potentially to have a meeting with them or touch base with them once a month as opposed to simply sending an invoice once a month. You can always send your invoice, but I think in the middle of the month, for example, you can make contact with them and have someone appointed to deal with them and communicate with them simply to find out if everything's under control and whether they have any issues which the landlord should attend to. My third thought on how to avoid legal costs or potentially just reduce them if you have to litigate is going to a law firm which has the ethos of trying to assist you in reducing your legal fees as opposed to just charging as much as they can. What that means for me is going to experts, for example, in property law, who can assign anyone in the team to assist you and not try to push the work to a senior colleague which will charge an inflated hourly rate. As a property law expert and the law firm owner, my interests are simply to help landlords around the country in reducing their legal fees and only approaching us when necessary. If you use these tips, I genuinely believe that you'll be able to reduce or avoid legal fees altogether. However, if you need to engage with litigators who are ready to fight your cause with care and compassion, Hadar Incorporated is ready to assist you.